I'd started to race, and I'd made an entry into the sport of cycling, and had just barely gone from the very first category to, at the time it was a Cat 4 to a Cat 3, and then I got pregnant with twins. So that kind of put a hiccup in my whole pro plan. But the cool thing is I connected with another human being that loved the sport of cycling as much as I do. After we had the boys, I started training again, and went very quickly from a Cat 3 to a Cat 2 to a Cat 1. And by then I was starting to get offers to guest ride for teams. And at nationals that year, I got recognized by the national team and got the opportunity just out of the blue to go compete in Europe with the USA national team. And so from there, my career just accelerated really quickly, and I had a pro contract by the time the boys were about 2 years old. In 2018, I really hit a wall with myself mentally. I really was as fit as I ever had been, but mentally was at the lowest point that I ever had been. I quit, stepped away, and for several months didn't ride a bike. I didn't feel like the choice that I'd made was really true to my nature. I don't like to quit things, and I definitely don't like to have experiences with no closure. And so I didn't like the way that I left the sport. I left really quietly. I didn't tell anyone what I was doing. I just kind of disappeared. Through that process, I really decided that it was time to dig in to that whole experience of understanding where my anxiety was coming from, and what I was going to do about it. I started really digging into mental toughness resources. I started surrounding myself with people who I believed were mentally tough and who had done really hard things. And all I was hearing on repeat was, you have to do hard things to get over the hurdle of being scared of hard things. And so in this whole process of self-discovery, I had to be okay with going into the pain cave. And that's really what I was struggling with at the end of the day. Towards the end of my professional career was, I thought in my mind that my pain cave was big enough and that I deserved to get certain results from that pain cave that I'd built for myself. But really, I was just, hadn't even cracked the surface of how big that pain cave needed to be to perform at the level that I wanted to perform. And so I started researching hardest bike race in the world and finding Silk Road Mountain Race. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a very long, self-supported bike adventure through Kyrgyzstan. It's incredibly remote. It takes you over 6 or 7 very high altitude mountain passes. The weather systems are gnarly, and you do it all on your own. I signed Ernie and myself up for the pairs division in 2019 with no knowledge of any sort of ultra endurance cycling or bike packing or camping or any outdoor like mountaineering, nothing. We had zero knowledge, and that was a really big hurdle that we had to cross together. And then we went and we did it. And it was literally the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It was less of a bike race and more of a come to Jesus moment for me. And it really showed me some of the layers that I'd built up inside that were really holding me back. What I didn't get when I was racing on the road, and just doing something that was so outside of my comfort zone really helped me open up and realize that I really do love cycling. I love what it's taught me. I love how it just shows me where I can grow, and then I can apply all those things towards, the other areas of my life that are important to me. And so once I kind of got addicted to this process of, hey, it's not about podiums and it's not about winning and results. It's about what all this is going to teach me. I realized there is no ceiling to that. There is no end to the amount of growth that the sport can give me. And so I just had this complete reversal of philosophies where it's okay, I have an infinite amount of time and ability to just grow as a human being. And when I flipped that, it allowed me to open up more to people in my community, and it allowed me to start making deeper connections and relationships because I was comfortable with sharing that with people now. And so it's been a really cool turnaround from, being a professional cyclist on the road where it was a pretty selfish pursuit. And now it's very community focused and outwardly focused. And it's like bring people into that experience. And the more I can do that, the more rewarding it feels to me in the end.
We didn't plan it.
You guys match? Did you plan that?
Both match.
When I found out I was pregnant, it was unplanned. And I was pretty desperate for the first 3 months, feeling very lost in that my whole life was about to change. And, people were like, oh, you have options. I'm like, no, I knew that I wanted to go through with the pregnancy. And once I found out I had twins, I was really almost more excited because very few people get that opportunity. And so I felt special in that regard. But the whole pregnancy was just so unplanned and unexpected that I really didn't wrap my head around it that whole 9 months. I was just ready to get it over with and to have the children. And so, I had no idea how much they were going to, I'm almost gonna cry. I didn't know how much they would enrich my life. And I really wished away that whole 9 months as if I didn't want it. And little did I know that I wouldn't be the person that I am now if I hadn't had that. So they're the best part of me and the best part of my everyday. And I think a lot of women are fearful of how pregnancy will change their goals and how pregnancies and children will require them to maybe have to lay down their personal pursuits. That's a scary thing when you're a woman, because I know we have men in our lives that support, but we're the ones whose bodies are affected, and we're the ones who are going to be, nurturing another human life. And so it's scary when you are a driven female to have children interrupt goals and interrupt your pursuits. But I would just encourage every mom out there that you can get really creative and you can get a lot of support from other mothers and people who believe in you when you want to still be yourself and be a mom. It is possible. I've gotten to do some incredible things, with the support of a village, but still, those children have done nothing but bless my life every day since they arrived. So I'm pretty proud of them.